in sports. We're down to the second last week of playing on the gridiron. Games are on top as well.
Welcome to NTV Sports Central podcast number 18 with your host, NTV Sports reporter Randy Silver. We have a massive weekend coming up in Husker sports. Women's soccer, women's volleyball, men's football. Of course, there's only one football team. We're going to break down the volleyball team's early season. They're 6-0, number one team in the nation. They're playing number 22 Utah. They're playing Grand Canyon. We're going to dive more into the numbers of how they're doing under DBK compared to last year. Football is playing Houston Christian, an FCS school. Of course, they beat Akron 68-0. This should be another blowout win. So we'll talk more about the numbers and what's working for them, some of the coaches' talk, etc., versus diving into a preview. We know what that will be like. And then we'll give an update on women's soccer, who's off to a good start in the positive winning percentage as well. So there's your update on what we're going to be doing today. Now you can see the schedule. Please like and subscribe to NTV Sports and Randy Silver TV. You'll make my new pup, my new editor. Can I get this while we do this? Look, yep, Kobe, come here. Kobe, say hi to the fans. Everybody right there, there's Kobe. Adopted him last week, my official new editor. And what you can do as well, if you have a young kid, not a young pup, Lincoln Children's Museum. They do their game day play dates. They're back. You could have done it last week for Akron. Now you can do it this week for Houston Christian and all the home games except for a select one, which would be Black Friday. So please check out this message from them and we'll dive into the podcast.
The following segment is sponsored by the Lincoln Children's Museum.
Randy Silver with NTV Sports. I'm with Ellie Charter, the Chief Marketing Officer of the Lincoln Children's Museum. We have exciting news for you Husker fans. Ellie, what is the big news?
The Lincoln Children's Museum is so excited to offer game day playdates again this football season.
Amazing. And being here, the kids are having so much fun. And this is a Thursday. I can't imagine what a game day would be like. What are the activities that they'll have?
While the kids are here, we will have many arts and crafts and STEM activities that are focused on the theme of football and sports and body movement. But we also have a very parallel path to what people experience inside the stadium. Some of those iconic brands that you expect to see at the stadium, we also have right here at the museum. We have First National Bank's photo booth upstairs. We have Runza in Tiny Town, and we have Valentino's Pizza available in our U-Stop Cafe.
Perfect. So for people who come here regularly, what information do they need to know about dropping their kids off here?
Right, grown-ups should know that this activity is perfect for kids ages 5 to 12. There is an advanced registration needed for that so that we can staff it appropriately because unlike a normal day when parents come here with their kids, we actually have those kids by themselves while the grown-ups go to the stadium and have their own game day experience.
Awesome. And if people want to find out more information, how can they do that?
They can look up on game day playdates under lincolnchildrensmuseum.org.
Perfect. And of course, in the bio of this, you can look it up as well. Go Big Red. It's Husker football season. Ellie Charter, the Chief Marketing Officer here at the Lincoln Children's Museum with big news. Drop your kids off on game day and have a great time watching Big Red go 13-0. Thank you, Ellie.
Thank you.
The following segment is sponsored by the Lincoln Children's Museum. Planning a game day in Lincoln, the Lincoln Children's Museum offers game day play dates. While you go to the stadium, your kids stay at the museum for their own game day experience. Available during every Husker home game.
Again, go check out their information. It's all in the bio. Thank you to Lincoln Children's Museum for supporting the podcast and giving you, if you have a young family, place for the kids to go hang out and you can enjoy the game at Memorial Stadium. So what I want to do to start first is talk about volleyball and not about the X's and O's, the schedule, the numbers, about Coach DBK and mental health. So let me pull it up. Here we are. Press conference yesterday, I was there. Izzy Stark, the freshman of the year for Penn State last year, announced this past week she's stepping away from the team for the season because of mental health. She needs to take care of her mental health. Everyone at NTV, myself, we wish her all the best. But it's not something uncommon we haven't heard in sports. You heard about Naomi Osaka in tennis. If you're a tennis fan, stepped away for the sport. Ansamova, did the same thing. She came back and made the Wimbledon final, US Open final, lost in both, unfortunately, American. But you're hearing more and more players taking care of their mental health, which is good. So what does DBK think of Izzy stepping away? Positive. And how is Nebraska as a school, as a volleyball program, trying to help its players through any mental health issues they may have? Very wise words she says here.
To the point that we don't have somebody step away. But, sad news for them. Izzy's a fantastic player and such a great program. And, I feel for what they're going through, particularly Izzy Stark. Yeah, I just think that college sports are such a big deal now, especially with media, social media, and like these players are put on pedestals, and at the end of the day, they're college students. They're, working to get their degrees. They're having meeting new people. They're living away from home for the first time. So it's a lot. And then on top of that, to be such a public figure in their sports, it's really, really hard. And even as a player, I didn't have to deal with social media, thank goodness. And the media was much less. It was really just in your little bucket or bubble of Nebraska. And the way the players handle it, is pretty phenomenal when you think about it from all sports. You look at the football team and men's basketball. So it's just a lot, and just grateful that Nebraska is an athletic department that understands this and puts the resources in place to support and try to stay ahead of, mental health and ahead of some of these things. We don't, take that for granted, that we're going to have moments that it's going to be really, really hard. And
a lot to unpack there, so let's go through it. First part, what she talked about, when she played in the early 2000s, there wasn't social media. Maybe Twitter was just coming up. There wasn't Instagram. Maybe Facebook was just coming up. It sounds like she wouldn't deal with it. So all you had to deal with was the local media. And say you had a bad game or something happened, you weren't online getting a bunch of tweets, mentions, etc., etc. So that takes it to a whole new game. And who is specifically dealing with that? Probably more than anybody? Harper Murray. Whenever I post any quote from her, video of her, there's a lot of people saying positive stuff about her mindset, what she does. But then there's also people talking ish about her or bringing up the negative stuff that happened in her past that she's learned from, and you don't make the same mistakes twice. But the fact that people bring this stuff up, hard. These are young women or just college athletes in general. 18 to 22-year-olds, maybe 23-year-olds. Yes, some of them are getting paid millions of dollars now compared to what it was in the past, but it doesn't give you the right to berate them and do all this stuff online. I posted a video of the players warming up. It's on my TikTok, Randy Silver TV, if you want to watch it. And they were in the stretching position. And there were some very, very vulgar comments about sexualizing women in that. And that was not my intent in the video whatsoever. And it's disappointing that people take it to the gutter. I showed Cal. I showed Nebraska. I did not once think anything vulgar or gutter about it. It's bringing you, the fans, into the John Cook Arena when you're not there, so you can see what it's like pregame and postgame. But that type of stuff, dealing with social media, is what the players have to deal with. And it's something that, again, DBK is cognizant of. Now with Izzy Stark, I'm not sure the mental health she's going to. We wish her all the best, and so did DBK. But I love that she also talked about we have the mental health resources at Nebraska. Appreciate the organization, appreciate the program, the school for giving us these opportunities to help the players through whatever they're going through and having the right procedures in place to be able to help them. Now, of course, things may pop up and get worse than you would hope, but they're doing the right stuff to try to get them on check, which is, so I got a hair. Click on. There we go, which is very important. And we see that today across all sports. So applaud Nebraska for doing that. Now that plays into the second part about DBK telling players, have fun. Against Kentucky, reverse sweep, down 2 sets in Nashville, come back, win 3-2. And she talked about in the press conference, was she happy? Was the team happy they won, or were they relieved? And that type of pressure and stress early in the season, that would have been game 4, can eat away at you. And then you still have the rest of preseason and then 20 Big Ten games. And then you got your conference championships and NCAA tournament. That can eat away at a team, especially number 1 team in the nation. So I love what DBK says here about continuing to try to have fun and make sure her players have fun consistently throughout.
It's a long season, and if you're feeling relieved after every game, it takes a lot of the joy out of it and the fun. And I want our team to be playing free and enjoying every minute, and whether it's a big opponent or a small opponent, that we are taking it for what it is. And it's like the most important thing in this program is the thing we're doing right now.
Could not be more true. Absolutely. And that message is resonating with the players. Here's Bergen talking about it from her perspective.
We always are going to have a target on our back, being Nebraska in general, but especially right now we're number 1. And this is a cool atmosphere. We have a really great crowd in front of us, and we also have a really great team, and just getting to enjoy all those little moments that we might forget about in the heat of a game.
So I would say the answer is yes. Definitely having the opportunity to make sure they're staying on track. So that takes you to, where is it? The Big Ten volleyball standings. Right now, you can see that, again, there's no Big Ten games. 6-0 across the board, 5-0. Penn State, national champions last year, 4-3, floundering a little bit. And again, lost the freshman player of the year. Be interesting to see how they are shaping up when Nebraska goes over to Pennsylvania next month. Not a lot you can read into here. Again, different conference schedules, but Nebraska has beat the number 3 team at the time. Pittsburgh beat the number 6 team at the time. Stanford beat the number 7 team at the time. Kentucky, who went up in standings after losing Nebraska. This Friday, they played number 22, Utah. We'll talk about them in a second. When we look at the 2025 standings, let's look at the number of, let me move my camera for you. Let's just look in general. Let's look at the number of sets played by team. Penn State's played 26 sets. Nebraska's 21. So this, actually I can make myself come back on, is good. Less sets early in the season, and we know some of those have been with the non-starters in, keeping the players fresh. So when you get to December, this will help them across the board. With that being said, that means they'll have less kills playing less sets. 288, if they're getting 13 kills per set, say they do another 5 more, it was 13 times 5. Give yourself another 65 kills based off of that. We'll just say 290 plus 60 puts you at 350. They'd be right there around Penn State and Purdue based off of kills. When you look at percentage, now again, you want kill percentage. Nebraska's hitting 300 as a team, a little bit below Indiana, Minnesota, Michigan, Rutgers, but right there where you would expect them to be, being led by Harper Murray. Look at assists. Again, not having as many assists because I'm not playing as much. 269 assists per set. So we're making sure to have good passing. Nebraska, 12 assists per set, 1 assist below Michigan, kind of right there in the middle. Blocking, same thing. You won't have many blocks, but still up there with 57. And they're played, look at USC, good for them. They played 1 less set, and they have 61 blocks, so something to be aware of. Good blocking team. Purdue, 60 blocks in an extra 5 sets over Nebraska. You look at blocks per set, Nebraska's at about 3 per set. Not bad whatsoever. Again, haven't played some of the high-level competition, but that doesn't matter. You can still block anybody and everybody. And also, some of these teams aren't able to pass and get those hits off. You look at digging. Nebraska's dug 298 balls. Digs per set. We know that the Laney issue came up, and she started back-to-back games after getting pulled. Yeah, Nebraska's at almost 15, we'll call it 14 digs a set. Again, right there. Service aces. Nebraska can get better at that. You don't see them on here. Only 20. Only 20. So is it the level of competition they're playing? Are these teams better at service aces? That is a question you have to look at. Service aces per set. Again, Nebraska won't be there. Something that you can work on. How do we continue to win off of our serve? Let me pull my camera back up. So you can see Nebraska's not really leading at any of these categories, but very solid throughout, staying at the top, which is exactly where you want to be as a collective team. If you look back at 2024, excuse me. Again, this is a 6-game sample size, 6-match sample size. This is throughout. So if we just do Nebraska, if we look at the kills per set, 14.11. If we go back, Nebraska kills per set, 13.7. So they're a little bit below, but not crazy far below. You look at their percentage, Nebraska's at 0.284 last year. Nebraska, 0.3. So they're actually hitting a bit below. And this is something we're going to talk about in a second about with Bergen and Andy, is they're trying new things. They're trying new routes. They're trying new hitting form. So it's taking them some time and practice and matches to get used to what they're doing and how they're doing it. And Andy's hitting percentage isn't near 600 as it was last year. She understands that, but they're getting more comfortable. And you can see in this offense, they're getting closer and closer. Look at assists per set. 12.81 in 2025. If you go to 2024, assists per set, 13.08. So everything right now you're seeing is a little bit below. Blocks per set, 2.8. Blocks per set, 2.7. So again, everything is just a tiny bit below. 14.9 digs per set. Here you're at 15. So you're getting the picture of pointing. Again, smaller sample size, but everything is a little bit below right now where they were last year, and they're still the number one team in the nation, 6-0, beat 3 top 10 teams. So really, really key for this team that they haven't really played maybe their best yet, and that's a good thing. That's a bad thing for the Big Ten, a good thing for Big Red Nation. So Bergen here talks about what she's trying to do to make sure that she continues to feed her offense.
We kind of say it to each other. I say see ball, set ball too. It's not a complicated thing. We do it a million times a week in practice. So we just sometimes overcomplicate it in our heads during games. So just, again, falling back on that connection that we've had for the last 2 years and that we've worked on for the last 2 years, and trusting that, or if we just do what we know we can do, that it's going to work out and we don't have to do anything crazy to make it work.
I love that. And again, this reference to Andy was talking about, I'm still working on my game a bit, trying to get back to the old Andy. I know she's there, and just trying to find a good connection in this high tempo offense. Bergen's really having to push the ball quicker. It's something that they're working on. DBK says that she's doing a good job and looking more comfortable. How does Bergen feel?
I've really been working on consistency now with my hitters and doing it over long periods of time, but I think it's been a fun offense to run, and hopefully we can just fine-tune some things and keep growing and keep getting better throughout the season.
Love that. Nothing else I would expect from from Bergen, All-American setter. Now, the one player who I would say is the ABCA All-American Player of the Year right now is Harper Murray. You look at what she's doing across the board and her hitting, her percentages, her defense. Yes, she's not a team captain, but she's still a leader on this team. Is amazing. And Bergen recognizes that as well. And we'll touch on Harper's stats after.
I mean, she's taken it to another level this year, and she knows just the target that we're going to have on our back and that she's going to have a big load in that. And outside always has a big load, and she's really taken that load on her back. So I'm really proud of her and just how she's performed. And I think we all knew that she had this in her, and she's shown it for all 6 of our games this year.
All right, so let's look at Harper's numbers now. If we go into kills, again, she plays every set. 20 sets, 80 kills. 4 per set. If she was having 6 sets, 4 times 6 is 24. That puts her at 104, so she'd be right up there in the top. If you look at kills per set, she's at 4. But there's players above her. You got Mimi, Allison, Taylor, if I said that correctly, Kennedy. They're getting fed. Look at that. Maybe not Taylor, but everyone else is getting fed. That means it can be a single-sided offense, which isn't good. You got Bergen, who can get her dumping. You got Andy and Rebecca in the middle. You got Allie and Virginia on the opposite. Then you got Taylor, Harper, Skylar's coming a bit. From the back, you have Terea who can hit. So spreading the ball out is great. You look at the percentage. Let's see, qualified for, make sure we can get this correctly. You look at the percentage. Manaya is actually top when you qualify for, which is interesting. But you don't see Harper on here. What is their actual hitting percentage? Harper Murray, 345. For playing 20 sets, that is impressive. You got Lindsay, who's also up there at 26, but only 44. Julia. So the people who really have a bunch of kills, you say Julia's up there, but then Harper. So I would put her and Taylor right there. They're hitting the ball really well, which is fantastic. Now, blocks per set, she's not there consistently. If we go blocks per set, it would be Rebecca leading the Big Ten, which is fantastic work by her. And you got Manaya. Again, she barely played. When we look at digs, Harper Murray, 52. Who else is hitting who has that many digs? Kenna does, which is impressive for her as well. 6 games played, 26 sets, 113 kills, 59 digs. I mean, she's playing around the whole rotation as well. You look at digs per set, Harper Murray, 2.60. She's had a crazy amount of digs as well. So her stats are up there for some of the best in the Big Ten. If you just want to say like high level, hey, Harper percentage hitting right now, what was she at last year? You look at Harper Murray, percentage hitting, 2024. Let's go to Harper. Harper, where you at, girl? Teams. We'll just pick Nebraska. Make this easy. Harper hitting last year was 257. Again, this year so far, let's just go. Nebraska. Harper hitting this year is at 345. She's hitting a full percentage point better, which is impressive. You look at the number of kills per set. Again, 4. Last year, Harper was at 3. Hitting better. You look at digs. Let me move my... Can I move this up a little bit? Nope, we'll move my camera. Digs per set, 2.4. Last year, this year, digs per set, 2.6. So she's having a better statistical year, you can see, across the board. Big time. Absolutely big time. I love to see it. And that goes into DBK. Plays Harper around the whole rotation, which I love to see. Now, there was that situation against Kentucky. She took Laney out of libero. Olivia went in, played, and then DBK talked about after, you don't win or lose a spot based off of one match. So I asked her in her press conference, like, hey, you put Laney back in. She played libero for both of them, didn't make that switch. And I got a lot of feedback on my social media about people enjoying what you said and saying, hey, that's great. I wish my coach did that, or they preach that and they don't do it. What are your thoughts on it? So here she goes, and then we'll talk about Utah a bit and move on.
As a coach, you want to do what you say you're going to do. And as a player, I mean, there's nobody you expect to play perfect all the time. And if people feel like they have to, that's when they're going to fail. So want them to feel free to make mistakes and to get better, and give them multiple chances. But at some point, if there is multiple chances and you have to make a change, then I want to be able to do that with full confidence that I'm doing the right thing too, not just making a gut reaction or something based off a small sample size. You want it to be based off a big sample size.
I love that. Big sample size. Don't make a rushed reaction. And that's exactly the type of coach I want on my team. Trust the players, let them make mistakes, but when you got to do what you got to do, you do what you got to do. Moving forward again, they have Utah on Friday, number 22 team in the nation. And then you got Drake. Drake is then playing Utah. And then you got Grand Canyon on Saturday. And then the big interstate matchup against Creighton at Creighton, the CHI, the Chi Health Center. Then you're back at home for Arizona. And preseason's over. Not preseason. Non-conference play is over. You start with Michigan and Maryland, and then you go on to Penn State. The last time they were on the road, folks, Kentucky. They were at home all September. Get used to school. Get used to the environment, and then you go on. You have some road games in October. So interesting to see how that schedule worked out. DBK said she did not build the schedule. It's done before, but I would say it's worked in their favor. So now that they move on to face Utah. Just quickly, these two teams have played twice before. Huskers are 1-1. This is on the Utah schedule. First matchup they played, Utah lost 3-2 in 2014. And then in 2021, Utah won 3-2. Both games in Lincoln. So it's been about 4 years since they played. Utah, again, is number 22 in the nation. Here are some of their stats. I'll let you kind of dive into it. But really, this is about Huskers playing their game and doing what they are. The one player to be aware of from Utah is Cameron Gibadillo, I would say. Gibadillo. Excuse me if I said that wrong. from Cave Creek, Arizona, the junior, is a stud. AVCA All-American honorable mention last year, AVCA All-Region, All Big 12 first team. That's pretty big. All Big 12 first team. Led the team with 3.3 kills in total sets. Was a top 5 team in the nation. Posted a career high versus Utah State, Arizona State. She's done some great things for this school. Now, what is she able to do moving forward against Nebraska? That is going to be the question. And we will find out on Friday. So if you like, please like and subscribe so you don't miss any more volleyball content. We appreciate you giving you breakdowns on all this stuff consistently. Now it's time to move over to football. So talking about football, we have to start with this. Yes, Akron lost 68-0, but you want to play a full 60 minutes. You want to build a mentality to this team that, hey, we're going to be great out there, not just 30 minutes, 15 minutes, a full 60 minutes, whether it's low-level competition or higher level. And Matt Rhule said at his press conference on Monday, he ripped into his team, absolutely ripped into his team about the end of the first half drive Akron did. They got the ball with like a minute left, drove down the field, missed the field goal. That can't happen against a good team. That can make or break the game, gives them momentum, keeps them in the game. And here's a full video, folks, of what him talk at the press conference and him at halftime. If you haven't seen it, this is a coach I want to play for. This is Mamba mentality. I love it.
Locker room. I was pissed.
Maybe I just have a different standard. I don't like them freaking moving the ball. They're dropping back at the end of the half. Like, we're on the sidelines, me and John are saying, they'll take a knee here. They'll run the ball. They don't fear you. They don't respect you enough yet. And if that sounds like coach speak, then you have the wrong brain. They're dropping back against our starting defense. They're cutting our own line at the end of the half. All you young guys, just go back there and chill. I want my opportunity. Some of you guys will get an opportunity right now. I told you I don't care what the score is. I told you I care what the tape looks like. Did I trip when the ball was fumbled? No, I don't care what happens in the game. I want to see what the next play is. You have one half. Defense, you have one half. If they try to drop back and throw it, and that quarterback's not on the ground, I want new guys in there rushing. I want them hit. I want them never to say our name again. You believe the fact with 43 seconds left, they just gave us the ball back. They went down 33 and they're still dropping back. They had the balls to cut you. I thought you guys get the ball, you put it down and score. You made me put the freaking red and the white in. And you guys get in, you go play. I don't care what the score is. Troy told you shutouts are precious. We almost gave them a shutout. I want them I don't want them ever to say our name again. That's the killer instinct I asked about. Not what does my hair look like, what do I look like in the freaking mirror. I walk in here, guys in the mirror checking themselves out. Got a chance at a shutout. You guys got a chance of freaking hanging a score around here we haven't hung in a long time. We don't work hard enough to go take what we want? Go take what you want. You want to get in the game? DJ, you run your ass off on all those routes all week? Now you got a chance to get in the game, maybe. If your brother and your brothers will put them away. It's about time people say, I don't want to schedule those guys anymore. I don't want to play those guys anymore. And if my standard's too high, then leave. And if you're with me, go out there and do not, I don't want to see a smile. I don't want to see nothing silly. I want to see a bunch of guys locked in that wants to make a team quit. I don't know why he showed you guys Bronx Hill at the end of it. You know what he said to that guy after beating out that biker gang? He said, look at me. I did this to you. He wasn't scared to make sure that guy knew who he was. I did this to you. When you're shaking their hand at the end of the game, they better have that look in their eye. You did it to them. It's supposed to be 33-0. It's supposed to be that score. Now, what's the second half supposed to look like? I'll see you guys on the field.
I don't want to be a joke. I don't want us to be I want us to be a football player. You put away the people you're supposed to put away. You don't let them have life. So I wasn't happy before that.
Woo! I know the camera shot wasn't there, and that video got leaked after the press conference. I think it was meant to happen. Different story. I will probably ask him on Thursday about the leak, and we'll see what he says. I'll post on social media. Now, I love that though. Level of competition, not giving them life, that killer mentality. A young team, building a program, year 3, Matt Rhule. You have to instill your beliefs on these players, and that's exactly what he's doing there. Did he need to do that? No, but he wants that mindset, that killer instinct mindset. It's amazing to see. I love it. I love everything about that.
I don't want to be a joke. You know, I don't want us to be I want us to be a football place, right? Football teams, you put away the people you're supposed to put away. You don't let them have life. So I wasn't happy before the half, right? And then, you know, when we went to take a knee and they cut us, which I have no issue with what they did. That's something you do at the end of games. They just, you know, their kids are trained to do that. I went after our O-line, like they don't fear you. Like teams are supposed to come in and they're supposed to say like I never want to. They're supposed to walk up to their AD and be like, don't schedule them again. That's the mentality we're supposed to have, and that's where I went off in the locker room, the coaches and players. And it's not that I have it and they don't. I just want to make sure that's my job, right? It's not Matt Rhule. It's the head coach at Nebraska. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to when you play these teams, they want to come here, they want to play here. They're supposed to never want to play here again. And so that was what I was pleased about in the second half. That I thought we didn't like let up. We went down and we scored again. Like I wanted to take the ones out, and like Dana wanted to keep the ones in. The ones all wanted to stay in. So we let them have another drive. They went down and scored again. So and the defense continued to play. You know.
Love all that. Again, he's just talking about making sure this team is ingrained 24/7, focused, locked in, and practicing games a full 60. All right, let's dive into some football. Huskers 2-0. Haven't played a Big Ten game yet. Faced Houston Christian. The Huskies 1-1. Last week we know Nebraska beat Akron 68-0. Houston Christian lost to Eastern Kentucky 20-10. This is the first time these teams have ever met the FCS school. And folks, we're going to have some press conference quotes and stuff from Matt Rhule, so don't go anywhere. Just trying to give you a quick preview of what to expect here. Scouting the Huskies. So again, they beat Arkansas Baptist 69-0. Hey, they did better than we did against Akron. We were 68-0. Lost to Eastern Kentucky. After that, they were basically playing their conference schedule. Head coach Jason Betchel, second season, 6-8 record, fourth career season, 20-14. People to be aware of: Sean Edwards, Darrell Evans as your rushing attack. Passing, their QB is Jake Weir. Receiving, Tamarcus Gray Jr. or Jarian Wallace. If you look at how they're doing compared to Nebraska, you look at the stats across the board. When you look at, again, we're national, they're FCS. Hey, rushing offense in their conference, they're first, 14th in FCS. So a decent rushing team. Huskers are 65th. You look at scoring offense, they're 12th. Total offense, they're 28th. So, hey, maybe not playing the best competition, but they can score. On defensively, you look, they're very stout. Rushing defense, passing defense, scoring defense. Again, level of competition, but they got good players who can play. Whether you're FCS or you're FBS, just knowing that the people you're playing are high quality competition, you got to be prepared. And they are prepared. They're going to be a good coach team. Yes, Akron, same type of conversation. We expect to be the same type of blowout, but this team can play, so you cannot take them lightly whatsoever, as you can see right here. When we look at the depth chart, nothing here looks any different to me. The one thing that's been a talk is Gunnar Godulutz starting a left tackle over the Alabama transfer Elijah Pritchett, something we'll get talk about in a second because Gunnar spoke to the media. Luke Lindenmeyer, congratulations on your engagement. So happy for you. That was cool to see on the field. And obviously after the big win, got his first career touchdown. Other than that, when you look at the depth chart, everything is pretty straightforward. Nothing has changed here. Everyone's healthy. TJ Lateef, backup QB, got his first touchdown. Great. I love to see that. So let's dive into Gunnar met with the media. Here's a couple of quotes from him. On the competition at left tackle, we're always there for each other. Iron sharpens iron. Just competing every day and trying to get the best of each other, help each other out when we're watching film, or out doing indie. We're always want the best for each other, so it's daily competition. And that's what you want to hear. Supporting each other is massive. When you look at the offensive coordinator, What did he say about TJ Lateef, the backup QB? How did he like seeing him out there? The communication, that's something we constantly work on. That's what the GoPros are for. Him in the huddle, what he says in the huddle. Again, they wear GoPros at practice. He didn't have a GoPro out there, so I couldn't really help him in the game. But from what I could see, there wasn't any miscommunication. He did a good job on getting people lined up and on the same page, and then executed 2 good drives. Encouraging to see. His running brings different abilities. He did a good job with his decision making and putting the ball in places 6 or 7 times, missed 1 throw to Carter Nelson, which was disappointing. But for the most part, he did an excellent job. And Coach Rhule said the same thing. They never actually saw him play live. They just saw his tape and they gave him an offer. So this is the first time they really saw him in a real game, and he performed. And you saw what he did in that second half. The jukes, it's on my Twitter, it's on my social media, go check it out. He brings a different element to this offense by his feet. I'm managing the team during game week. Dana Holgerson says, I just think Coach Rhule is doing an excellent job of keeping people's attention and constantly improving through practice. A week ago, I stood up here in front of you guys and was irate because I didn't feel like we had a very good practice. I didn't think it was very good. Got better on Wednesday, got better on Thursday. The guys had some downtime Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, then we're ready to go. Today was better than last Tuesday. Today was a good practice. I think we have their attention. They were having a lot of fun last Saturday, and I think we're looking forward to having more fun this upcoming Saturday. And I love that. Practice can be grueling hard. You want to keep getting better. And it's hard when you're playing a lower level competition to still practice at your best. Hold each other accountable, which we're going to talk about with Coach Rhule in a second. And Luke Lindemeyer, the tight end, the walk-on, he keeps getting better. He's Dylan Raiola's security blanket. He possesses that abilities. He's always in the right spots. He's working with Dylan. Dylan knows where he is. He gets a lot of checkdowns. And again, check down. Those lead to bigger plays. Nice to see him catch that route early on. He had a one-handed catch. Congratulations to him, by the way. Last Tuesday, I said happy birthday. Congratulations on your engagement. I'm just proud of him as a human. From a football perspective, he's doing a really nice job. Luke Lindemeyer maybe having the best week of anybody in Nebraska. And then lastly, some quotes from Ja'Cory Barney Jr. on last year's punt return total in one game. They had around 90 punt return yards this game. Last year, they didn't even have 90 total in their whole games altogether. I feel like we're blocking at high level in punt returns. I felt like I got to the crib, so I expect more and I expect return more this season. And this will only help out the offense with shorter fields, make them more dynamic, and put more pressure on the opposing team. Mentality shift is the difference. Coach Mike Eckler, on how passionate he is and makes us want to go out there and play for him. His recovery, again, he took a big hit against Cincy, didn't miss any practice or games. We have the best trainers out there. I want to be out there. I'm a competitor, so even if I'm banged up, I'm going to keep going. I just want to play, and I want to be out there. All good stuff across the board. And then DC, Dana Butler, how's he liking his defense so far? I think in those first 2 games, that group of players has played well together. We played some man, played some zone, played some match defense. We blitzed against Cincy. That played well. Thought we played well last week, and of course a shutout. Akron hasn't scored any touchdowns or any points all game. Not terrible, it's terrible. But still, held Cincy below 70 yards passing, held Akron below 70 yards passing. So nice job. And then the Cincy QB threw 350 against Bowling Green. So it does show what the team is up to. Run defense, it's a work in progress. It's a combination of how we play and the schemes that we're calling, combined with execution of blitz that we're running. If you go back to Cincy game, 96 yards of it were quarterback runs. You take that away, we're doing pretty good. So all in all is looking decent for this team. Again, played a power school out of the Big 12, Cincinnati. Then you have a smaller school, and now you have an FCS school. And then you have Michigan coming to town, not this Saturday, next Saturday.
I got some emails about angry people that we didn't punt on the last play of the game. So that's what I love about Archie, though. Even his family was in the facility, I think on Thursday or Friday. And they were like, hopefully we don't see him play. Now they saw him in Kansas City. They're here for several weeks. But, Archie's a football player. He played footy, so he's competitive. He wants to do different things besides just punt. He wants to, hey, give me a fake, coach. He's a baller, and he's a team guy. So, but, I don't, again, I don't get too high about the highs. Like that was a game that got away from Akron. We certainly didn't want to in any way embarrass them, and I thought they continued to play hard. So whether it's 34-0 or 68-0, at the end of the day, I just was happy to get the young guy.
Love all that. Again, he's just talking about making sure this team is ingrained 24/7, focused, locked in, and practicing games a full 60. Someone who is daring to be great, Bud Crawford, inspiration this week, Nebraska's own Omaha native. He's going up multiple weight classes to face Canelo Alvarez. Canelo, unified champion. Bud is a 2-time unified champion, moving up to try to become the first male in a 4-belt era to be a 3-time unified champion. And that mindset, no fear, not just, hey, I'm content with what I got, I'm going to go risk it all, is what he wants out of his team, whether it's a good team or a lower level team.
But what I love about Bud is, he's going to go out and fight Saturday night. And he's a first ballot pro boxing Hall of Famer, right? And he's certainly not just doing it for the money, right? And so he's risking his legacy because he wants to go out and he wants to be the first person to be 3 times unified champion. You know what I mean? No one's ever done it before. And so what I love about him is he could just sit back and be like, no, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight Canelo. I'm the greatest there ever was. But he's going to risk the chance when you step in the ring. Who knows what? He's going to risk that because he's such a competitor that he can't stand the fact that he has a chance to do something that no one else has done. Because I believe 2 people have done 2 times unified or multiple, 2 different weight classes, I believe. But no one's done 3. So he has a chance to go. So he's going to go up in weight and challenge himself in weight and be the underdog for the first time ever. But he doesn't care about any of that because he doesn't care what other people say. He's a competitor. He's going to go out there and he expects to win. And so you think about a message for our guys, look, yeah. One thing I keep telling them is if the pressure, oh my gosh, the pressure to perform feels like too much right now. Just wait. The pressure doesn't go away. It doesn't go away, and it makes you either fight or flight. And some people would flee. And what I love about Bud Crawford is he just, no pun intended, he fights. He accepts the challenge. He moves forward. He puts his city, his state, his legacy on his back, and he goes out there and he risks it all in the ring because he's the ultimate competitor. And so that's the analogy for our team.
I love that. Pressure doesn't go away. Pressure doesn't go away. You either fight or you flight. And the pressure isn't really on this week. The pressure is to perform and, go get the win, 11 a.m. kickoff against HCU. However, then you get Michigan. Then you get Michigan State coming town. Then you have a bye week and you're on the road against Maryland. So it's going to start ramping up when you get the Big Ten play. And if you beat Michigan, you're probably a top 25 team. And now you start to have some eyeballs, bigger and bigger eyeballs on you that they have to be prepared for. So overall, love what I'm seeing from the football team. I'm hearing from Coach Matt Rhule, the players all buying into this program. Year 3 Matt Rhule, 3-0 right now. 2-0 right now. Looking to go 3-0. I will have all the coverage on NTV socials, Randy Silver TV socials, as we did last week. Again, giving you guys inside the action if you're not there. Pre-game, the post-game, clips, everything in between. So please like and subscribe so you don't miss any of it. And that takes us finally to the women's soccer team. They play Minnesota on Thursday, their game of the week here in Lincoln, Barbara Hibner Stadium. You can watch on the Big Ten Network. Nebraska's 5-0-2. Wow, Minnesota is 4-2-0. So yes, 5 wins, no losses, 2 draws. While Minnesota, 4 wins, 2 losses. Love to see it. We dive into the numbers a little bit. Expedition against South Dakota, tied 0-0. Colorado State, 1-1 tie. Then you have Southern Indiana, 6-0 win. Now you start to get to some tougher competition. Missouri State, I was at that game covering it, 1-1. We'll talk about the goal scorer there in a second. Oklahoma State, you got a Big 12 school, tied 1-1. Weber State, 1-0. At Omaha, 2-1. And that was in a torrential downpour, basically. Oregon State, they were Pac-12. Now they're Pac-2, going back up. 2-0 win. Kansas State, big win again, Big 12 school, 2-0. Now you start your conference schedule. You got Minnesota, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Iowa, Northwestern, Purdue, Maryland, USC, UCLA, Michigan, Big Ten tournament, NCAA tournament. So they're finished with their non-conference schedule. They're diving into it, and they have basically a couple days between Kansas State now and then a week off till Penn State. We look at the numbers. Goal scorer, Kayla Carpenter, 5 goals, 2 assists, 12 points. Reagan Rabe, that is a name to see. 2 goals, 4 assists, and both those goals were outside the box bangers, or at least one of them was. I saw against the Missouri State game. 8 points. Oh, sorry, no, it wasn't her. It was Ella Rudney who had that goal. I saw. 3 goals, no assists. But hey, Rabe is having a great season as well. So you've seen the numbers right here. Look at their averages, and you go down the goalie. CC Villa is having a great season in goal. Only 3 goals against, 24 saves, 889 percentage, 4-2. Love to see it. Nice job there by her. Oops. Yeah, I meant Rudney with the goal there. You can see here Carpenter, last game against Kansas State, 2 goals in the win. She has goals in 2 out of the past 3 games. And 3 goals in the past 2, which is great for her. Has multiple games of 2 goals. So teams moving into their play now. If you want to dive into this, I can give you a bit more. I can send this over to you. But good to see that this team is doing a nice job as they progress into their season. I'm working to bring a couple of those players onto the podcast and see if we can talk to them about their season, what's going on. So stay locked in. Everything you need to know, Husker sports, we got it for you right here on the NTV Sports Central podcast. Volleyball, football, soccer, a lot to go over. Golf is happening now, track and field, cross country is going. So we try to do everything we can. Obviously, the focal point is volleyball and football where I'm at. So if you have any questions, comments, please reach out and subscribe. We have it all for you on NTV Sports Central podcast with your host, Randy Silver. Go Big Red, and we'll see you on the next episode.
In sports, we're down to the second last week of playing on the gridiron. Games are on top.